So in the month of October, I'm wrapping up my preparations to go on the Mount Pacifico hike with some of you that follow the channel. And pretty much the last thing I've got to get sorted out is my KX2. There's nothing wrong with it, except it's a little vulnerable in its current state, you know. In the pack, even in its soft-shelled pack that it comes with, which is nice, your knobs are a bit exposed, and I wonder if there's something we can do about that. So the KX2 is a great portable radio, which we already know, but you know it could have a little bit more going on for it to kind of protect the knobs and interfaces, and that's where this little package comes in. Let's tear into it. So I placed an order at Side KX, which is the maker of the PA KX2 heatsink for Elecraft KX2 radios. And it looks like there's a bit going across here. Looks like there's some stuff we've actually got to do here that I wasn't prepared for. I thought this was just going to be an easy thing to do. But apparently there's some installation process you have to follow, which we're going to go ahead and do that right now. In this case, we got to disconnect the antenna, and there's some PA FET nut, so we got to take off. This is the power amplifier field effect transistors. That is the layout of how it should all go back together. Mounting to... That's the transistor mounting tab. Oh, we have to disassemble the antenna connector. There are two terminals. Well, let's take a look at what this kit comes with. I will say this is not a cheap kit necessarily. The parts aren't cheap. I actually got two things. I got the plate that goes on the bottom here to cover up the coax connector because I don't use the I don't use the CW key. So I've got this plate here that covers that up, which is nice. We'll keep that on the side. And then I went with the model of plates that here's your connector for the left-hand side of the KX2. And I went with the right-hand side one, which has these heat sinks. The reason I went with the heat sink model is this thing gets hot, even when transmitting at 5 watts with WSJTX. So I wanted to make sure I had something to help soak up that heat a bit. So hopefully this will do the job. Oh, it looks like they came with some thermal compound. That's going to be useful. A couple of packets of thermal compound. Okay, without further ado, let's open her up. So the KX2, to open the back, is you just loosen up these two screws. The back slides out. You have the connector for the speaker, and you have the power connector for the battery. Let's remove the battery right now with the handy plastic pull. Just pull that out. And then we've got this connector for the speaker. I'm going to get a rag really fast so we can set the radio on it. The left side looks real easy. That's just 4 screws, take the thing off, put the new one on. Bob's your uncle. This is a little bit more complicated. You actually need to disassemble a lot of what's going on here. This is the antenna connector right there, which comes up. Because the BNC mounts flush to the face of the side plate, so you're going to have to swap that over. And then you have 2 screws here which have the connectors which we already covered. So to handle this appropriately, I'm going to get some stuff out so we don't lose any parts. So I got my friend the magnet tray here. There are some fiddly bits here and here. I'm going to try and unscrew them. The screws loosen up easy enough. So we got our screw, a locking washer, and then a nut. Let's go ahead and keep those together. And I'm flipping it over so that everything falls down instead of into the radio. That would be bad. And there's that. And there's the screws. Okay, so we have disconnected pretty much everything. Now it's just a matter of these last couple of screws. So if we did this correctly, and we did, these plates are going to look very similar. If they put them side by side, very similar. These look a little bit different, but we'll work around that. So what we need to do now is disconnect the black, disconnect the black wire from the antenna connector, because, wait for it, no, it's a red wire. What does this say? So I'm not sure I completely follow the logic, but they're saying I need to remove the black wire from the connector, not the red wire. It would make sense to me to disconnect the red wire and then take the nut off, taking off the BNC, but I'll just follow along and do the black wire. I recommended using a jeweler's screwdriver. And that came right out. Okay, off comes the nut. And it looks like there's a washer and then the press fitting. So I'm just going to hold this, let the antenna come right out. I'm going to go right back in with the antenna into the new mount. Then go right back over the antenna so we don't screw anything up. Just to make sure I do this exactly as correct as possible. So something like that was how it was. So I want the connector to be something like it is right now. So good. Okay, nice strong connection. All right, so to get this back in, we're just gonna feed it back in the way it came. Tricksy. I almost did it upside down. That would have been a problem. Done. Okay, so that was step one out of the way. We now have the connector connected back on for the antenna. Now, what I didn't understand was these heatsink thermal compounds. Is that supposed to go on the connectors here before you screw it in? Maybe. So we're going to determine, need the included compound for 20 seconds to reintegrate the grease, making sure there are no lumps. Tear the end of the packet off at the pre-cut line and apply a small match head size drop of thermal compound to the back of the PA FET. So these guys right here. PA FETs. So we got this soft pack of compound. We're going to knead it into a fine, soft, reconstituted paste. Going to take the tip off here. We're going to apply what's set as a match head size. About that. That's too much, actually. That's about right. And then we're going to take a blade and we're going to apply it in a thin paste. And we will remove any excess. Okay, just like that. Go in here and just clean out the holes. Like that. We used to use credit cards on CPUs and stuff when applying thermal paste, or like old gift cards you'd get for Christmas. So I don't really have a better way of going about this. Actually, I do have a better way. Let's go ahead and get this guy out. All right, put him back. I think the easiest way is to get this mounted with the support screws. These guys all around the periphery. So there's the support screws. So again, the way this works is this guy goes here like this. Okay, there's one. That was less fiddly than I thought. These are ceramic tweezers, which I have used in great effect messing with electronics. They're really quite handy. Alright, so since this side's done, I'm going to go ahead and connect the red and black so we don't have to worry about that. So we've got pretty much everything's connected up again. This is good. Ooh, I don't want to mess with those wires. Yeah, let's leave those alone. Okay, now, easy side. I'd say we're more than halfway done. Where did all this come from? Oh, is that the goop? Great. This guy just comes off. Same on both sides. And there you have it. We've added some side handles and a bit of heatsink. Let's put the battery back in. That's nice now too, so I can set it on its face without having a problem or having to worry about it. Let's get the battery back in. See how we did. Okay, the kit also comes with this cool faceplate cover, and you use this, obviously, to that is a tough fit. Holy smokes. Alright, I'm doing this wrong. I gotta be, right? Doesn't say how to do it. I assume you just do that. Go in hard. Okay, so now got a nice cover that is hard to get off. Alright, so the last thing, we're going to install this, see if we can find a signal here. Last thing is the little plate here. Keeps dirt and stuff out of the KX2. If you would have guessed 30 seconds, you would have been right. Okay, so that's it. This is the last thing I needed to kind of be prepared for the campout. I think this adds a nice little structural protection to the top of the KX2. Obviously doesn't add much weatherproofing. The front of this is really just a dust blocker. This was really cheap. This was, I think, $7 or something like that. These side plates are not cheap. Just the side plates without the grill in the front or the heatsink, that I believe is $75. You can find them cheaper online, but I wanted to pay for just an American company that's local to me. It's in Fullerton, California. The heatsink one goes up in price. These are over $100. I can't remember exactly what they were, but it's definitely over $100. And that's the whole kit with the cover, the two sides, and I added the side piece. So yeah, I'm pretty much ready to go now, so look forward to an upcoming stream, probably in a couple weeks, where I'm going to go through my entire kit of what I'm dragging out on my hike to Mount Pacifico. Some of it's going to be really affordable gear, some of it's going to be a bit more pricey gear, and we'll talk about why I went with some of that, and stuff I've used, stuff I'm going to be trying out for the first time, including some antennas that I'm bringing with me for the first time. I got a super secret squirrel special one that I'm bringing that is going to be a lot of fun to be able to share with everybody that's going out. So anyway, if you have not already, please hit subscribe, give me that thumbs up. We're going to be doing a lot of cool stuff in this next couple of months. I hope you come along with us. That giveaway's still going, so take the card or wherever that link is to get involved with that to win a Xiegu G90 HF radio. All right, guys, that'll do it. I'll talk to you later. Thanks a lot. See ya.